All right, Shalom, call Loyam, La Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachak Wadash, the honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, Ruel, and what taught us knowledge. Honors salutations to you fellow laborers that are out there doing the work of true sincerity. All right, Shalom to you, and Shalom to the Aquaf that believe as well. I stumbled across this video via YouTube, and it was just on my home screen video feed. I looked at the title. I'm like, wow, it caught my attention. I just decided to throw it up. Because it's after I listened to it, it was very straight to the point. And this woman right here that's on this video, she can very well be an Israelite. I think she's, from her accent, she's from the UK, the United Kingdom. But we have speckled bird Israelites, okay? Remember that every Israelite ain't gonna look like a so-called black or brown person, man. So keep that in mind, okay? Remember, you're gonna have Edomite looking Jakes, man. All right, it is what it is. That's why you have the tares and wheat, all right, that was told by our Lord Yahushua. So with that being said, I want you to hear what she says, and Lord willing, this video is edifying, okay? Let's get into it.
You've been told while sitting in church or even watching movies, reading books, Moses, chosen by God, given the 10 Commandments. Most of the laws are based on that today. Even your Constitution in America some of it is based on the 10 Commandments.
And that's true. That's true. She know her history, okay? I'll give her that. She knows her history, from this part of the video. I haven't let a lot of it play, but you can tell she's done her some research, okay?
Moses, born in Africa, raised by Africans. Moses was a Hebrew, an Israelite, and a black man.
And that's true. Exodus, the 2nd chapter, we get that. Exodus 2, verse 1. And there went a man of the house of Levi. Now keep in mind, this is during the Egyptian captivity, okay? And our foreparents were living in Egypt, okay, under the hand of the Egyptians. All right. It says, and there went a man of the house of Levi and took to wife a daughter of Levi, the tribe of Levi, that is, which is the priest tribe. Excuse me, the original priest tribe. Okay. It says, and the woman conceived and bare a son, and when she saw him that he was a goodly child, she hid him 3 months. Okay. Now you have to know the story, the reason why she hid him. Okay, Pharaoh was killing the firstborn sons of the Israelites, man. Okay, they was killing the sons in general. Okay, it says you jump down to verse 5. Okay, well, we just matter of fact, I'm gonna keep reading. Okay, verse 3, and when she could not longer hide him, she took for him an ark of bulrushes and daubed it with slime and with pitch, and put the child therein, and she laid it in the flags by the river's brink, and his sister stood afar off to wit what would be done to him. And the daughter of Pharaoh came down to wash herself at the river, and her maidens walked along by the riverside. And when she saw the ark among the flags, she sent her maid to fetch it. And when she had opened it, she saw the child, and behold, the babe wept. And she had compassion on him, and said, "This is one of the Hebrews' children." All right, clearly, it says, "Then said his sister to Pharaoh's daughter, Shall I go and call to thee a nurse of the Hebrew women, that she may nurse the child for thee?" And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Go." And the maid went and called the child's mother. All right. And when you go on to read the rest of the story, Moses was raised in the house of Pharaoh, and Pharaoh didn't know that he was one of the Hebrew children, one of the Israelites. Okay.
Was a Hebrew, an Israelite, and a black man. All Hebrews were black. He married a woman from Ethiopia, and his sister Miriam didn't like this. She didn't like it because Ethiopians had a different culture to them. So she was talking bad about Moses marrying out of his race. So God was listening to this, and God said, Miriam, Aaron, who the one she was gossiping to, and Moses, please come to the temple steps. I have some things I want to speak to you about. So they were on the temple steps, and he said, Miriam, you have been talking about your brother Moses, slandering that he's marrying outside of his culture.
Now, what she's referring to is Numbers, the 12th chapter. Okay. Which the Lord punished, he punished Miriam, and he turned her into a white woman. Now, this is something that, you know, this is something that you will never hear this in the so-called church building. And of course, this is some history and of the scriptures, or that's within the scriptures, I should say, that they would never want you to even hear. Okay. Numbers 12. All right. It says the murmuring of Miriam and Aaron, because they were speaking against Moses. Okay. Numbers 12 and 1. And Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman whom he had married, for he had married an Ethiopian woman, right, which would be Cush. So he married one of the daughters of Cush, okay? And they would be the Ethiopians. And when you know about the Ethiopians, the Lord even said that he made the children of Israel likened unto the Ethiopians as far as in complexion, because the word Ethiop means burnt face, okay? Now, let's get that precept. And we're going to look up the word Ethiopian too. Amos 9 and 7, it says, are ye not as children of the Ethiopians unto me, O children of Israel, saith the Lord? See? Have not I brought up Israel out of the land of Egypt? You know what I mean? So, yeah, the children of Israel, all right, are in complexion like unto the Ethiopians. Now, you look up the word Ethiopian, okay? When you go to it, okay? You go and look up the word Ethiopian. Okay, Ethiopian. Goes back to the Ethiop, right? See, Ethiopian. Okay. Inhabitant of Ethiopia, which of course, you know, they would be Cush today. Goes back to the Greek language, Ethiop. Okay, Ethiop. And you see it says burnt face. Okay. It really simply means burnt face. All right, burnt face. Let's see the way they say it in the meaning. It should have had it. Okay. We're gonna Google it. See what Google says. Okay, bear with me 1 second. See it. See, Ethiopian. Okay. Native or inhabitant of Ethiopia, or a person of Ethiopian descent. Archaic, a black person. See, because the Ethiopians are people of color as well. Meaning what? Different shades of brown. Okay, like the so-called Negroes today. Okay, so you know you do have it where the Ethiopians, even right, the Ethiopians are a fair-skinned people. Okay, but let's jump down to the point in Numbers, the 12th chapter. all right, for speaking against Moses, okay? Because she was right. They were speaking against Moses. And at the end of speaking against Moses, the Lord punished Miriam, okay? Numbers 12 and 7. I'll go right to the point. My servant Moses is not so, who is faithful in all my house. With him will I speak mouth to mouth, even apparently, and not in dark speeches. And the similitude of the Lord shall he behold. Wherefore then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? And the anger of the Lord was kindled against them, and he departed. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. All right, so the Lord turned Miriam into a white woman, okay? And the reaction you get from Aaron lets you know the sentiment that he was feeling towards Miriam when she was turned to a white woman. It says, Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. And Aaron said unto Moses, at last, my Lord, I beseech thee, lay not the sin upon us, because you're going to the law, all right, of the Most High. It speaks about leprosy, okay, and how to deal with the plague of leprosy, okay, which is the plague in the skin, okay, changing of the skin, all right. And Aaron said unto Moses, at last, my Lord, I beseech thee, lay not the sin upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned. Let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed, when he cometh out of his mother's womb. Okay, looking what? Pale. Okay, so this is what happened, man. So the woman in this video, again, she's done some research. Okay, she knows something. She's done something that you wacky tacky Christians don't do. Okay, which is research. All right, do your own research. Okay.
Outside of his culture, that is a sin. He said, so for your punishment, I'm going to strike you with leprosy and whiteness. So she was struck to become a white leper. Now, you can read all this for yourself. The whole story is in Numbers 12, starting at verse 1.
And I just read that, I got right to the point, but it's only, about a dozen scriptures in that chapter, all right, in particular. And, that's absolutely right, what she said. All right, she turned into a leper, white, which is, it's like a white person, okay? And Aaron said, lay not the sin upon us, where we have done foolishly, okay? So this is something that they don't want to, hear. They want you to look over these things, okay? They want you to believe that the people of the Lord, all right, look so-called white. And when you look up, when you do your research in the scriptures, you find out that the people of the Lord are people of color. Now you have some of the people of the Lord that look so-called white. Like I said, speckled bird Israelites, okay? Remember Jeremiah 12 and 9 said the Lord's heritage, all right, which the Lord's heritage is the children of Jacob. It's like into a speckled bird. And the speckled bird has several colors. So yeah, you know what I mean? So, I guess I believe this woman right here in this video can be Israelite, it just seems like it to me based on, her spirit, But let's continue on, okay? So then Moses saw this and he said, please, God, she's my sister. She probably didn't mean to talk about me like this. Please, I beg you, restore her back. I don't want my sister to be a leper. So God, he loved Moses. So he said, Moses, if she was talking bad and your father found out and spat in her face, for 7 days she would be ashamed and have to stand outside the house. So for 7 days then she will become a white leper. Then after 7 days I will restore her. But do not forget this lesson. So this you can read for yourself. So next to racism, which is a very dark thing in people's hearts, is jealousy and envy. And be very careful, because what the Bible says about envy is, and you can read it, Proverbs 14:30, it rots your bones. So, and that was a TikTok video, and You know, it's crazy that, well, TikTok is a platform. You could, I think it's a platform where you could say pretty much whatever you want, just about. But she goes right into it and break it down, and says it straight plainly, But if you was to make a video like that over in the States, they'll get a lot of backlash for it. Now this is the comment board. It says idiot 2668. Black Americans are from the tribe of Judah, which is true. Jeremiah 14:2, it says that Judah mourned in the gates of language. They are black unto the ground. All right, which the ground is different shades of brown. All right, so let's just say dark, okay, or kodar, they'll be darkened, okay, likened unto the ground, okay, and the cry of Jerusalem is going up. All right, that's Jeremiah 14:2, okay. So let's see here. It says it says the same tribe. Well, this ain't his name, Yeshua, aka Jesus. His name is Yahushai, okay. It's his true name in the ancient Paleo Hebrew is Yahushai, okay. He deliverer, he savior, okay. It says those folks know this. That's why they painted. It says Jesus, but we know his name is Yahushai, a different color. And it says in 1505. Which Renaissance art. This lady is speaking, Earl Jonas. This lady is speaking the truth, and I commend her for it. We need more people like her to know that which was hidden for hundreds of or thousands of years. Cause of lies and power. Let's see. It says read more. Cause of lies and power, hungry leaders and wicked rulers, religion, self-absorbed, unrighteous zealots. Then you get, you're gonna have the backlash. No, she doesn't. This is BS. The haters. This is what it is, man. This is the Lord has a controversy over Zion, okay? And Discovery Industries make a good point. You said it all, but some blacks do not believe your truth. I love this white woman telling the truth, which, like I said, she could very well be an Israelite woman, man. I believe she is, man. That's just me personally, okay? Moses marrying an Ethiopian was not about skin color. Well, I just read in Amos 9:7 that the Lord said, "Are ye not likened unto the Ethiopians unto me?" Because what the Ethiopians are, they're fair. You go to Google, man. Okay, you go to Google, right? Ethiopians, right? I'm gonna click on images. These are the Ethiopian people, okay? Which they look similar to so-called Negroes, okay? See? So, what else would the scriptures be talking about? Robert Panel 5486, right? Moses marrying an Ethiopian was not about skin color. It was about culture only, because the Cushites were just as dark as Moses and the Israelites were. Well, I mean, still, I mean, the Israelites and the Cushites was similar in the skin complexion. You just even admit it, man. It says Moses marrying an Ethiopian was not about skin color. It was about culture only, because the Cushites were just as dark as Moses and the Israelites were. All right. So, yeah, I mean, of course, we know that, man. So, I mean, I don't get your argument, my man. So, soulful player. Bless you, sister. Real talk. This is one of the reasons they don't want kids knowing the real truth. All truths. The General Public is not ready for the truth. That's true. All right, that's true. O children of Israel, awaken thee from your slumber. The gospel of the truth, our Lord and Savior, shall be preached amongst all the nations, for we have been awakened. Well, the Israelites have been scattered among all nations too. Deuteronomy 28:64. Okay. Andrea Cooper, the Lord our power is waking up the Gentiles and his chosen people. Well, the Gentiles, the Lord is waking up is Israelite foreigners. All right. The word Gentile means foreigner. And the Israelites became foreign to their heritage. All right. When you know the scriptures, okay. Do your research, Andrea Cooper. Okay. Her brother Moses had the same skin changing experience in Exodus 4. Yeah, the miracle. Okay. Okay, I agree with that. That's part of the miracle. Exodus 4 and 6. It says, "Wherefore say unto the children of Israel." Well, this is not it. Exodus, 4th chapter, Shalakia. Exodus 4 and 6. It says, "And the Lord said furthermore unto him, Put now thine hand into thy bosom. And he put his hand into his bosom, and when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow." Because this is one of the miracles that the Lord told Moses to perform before Pharaoh. Okay. So his hand became leprous as snow, meaning what? White as snow, or like a so-called white person's hand. Okay. Because back in them times, everyone was super dark, man. Except for who? The Edomites, which they come out of the womb as lepers. Okay. And the Edomites today would be the so-called white people. Okay. It says, verse 7, he said, "Put thine hand into thy bosom again." And he put his hand into his bosom again and plucked it out of his bosom. And behold, it was turned again as his other flesh. Okay. So what makes it a miracle is that you have this very dark man putting his hand into his bosom or his garment or under the shirt, if you will, excuse me, taking it out, and his hand turned to a white man's hand. That would be a miracle. Okay. That would actually be a miracle. All right. Especially, he's doing it before Pharaoh and the Egyptians, and they are all super dark people like himself. All right. So that would be a miracle, man. All right. Let's see here. I'm read a couple more and I'm gonna end it. Says facts, we still here, Marah 493. The word Marah means teacher. Marah, it means teacher, I believe. It says, "This is how Gentiles will respond when they finally figure out who Israel is." Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1 through 10. And, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness. Yeah, right on. Yeah, and, so people post the scriptures. People. Well, they post Psalm 83. Psalms 83rd chapter goes into the nations cutting us off as being a nation. All the tribes. Okay, start with the lead tribe of Judah, which is the so-called Negro. All right, because the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, we are the Israelites. Okay, but yeah. Marah posts, "I've read several documents from the 1700s and all suggest that Portuguese and Spanish Jews were black Negro." Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right. They use a lot of them ones from over there as the original Portuguese, and they was called the Moors, or Moreno, as translators to translate what the northern tribes, which would be us so-called Native American and Spanish, what we were saying over here when they came to the Americas. Look up Christopher Columbus and the we call them the Moors. All right, the 5 Moors that was along the ship with Christopher Columbus, also known as Cristobal Colon. Okay, so yeah, man. Says what's this says? Mustang Jack 06. "Leprosy does not cause the skin and hair to turn white, like it vitiligo. Says unlike vitiligo, leprosy does not Well, you're wrong, my man. Leprosy does turn your skin white, okay? It's a skin disease, okay? Go to read Leviticus, the 13th chapter, okay? We ain't gonna argue, you know. This is the whole thing about leprosy, okay? Leviticus 13:1, and the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, saying, when the man shall have in the skin, right, of his flesh arising a scab or bright spot, and it be in the skin of his flesh, like the plague of leprosy, then he shall be brought unto Aaron the priest, or unto one of his sons, the priest. And the priest shall look on the plague in the skin of the flesh, and when the hair in the plague is turned white, and the plague in the sight be deeper than the skin of his flesh, it is a plague of leprosy. And the priest shall look on him and pronounce him unclean. See? And it goes all the way into it. Verse 4, if the bright spot be white in the skin of his flesh, and in sight be not deeper than the skin, and the hair thereof be not turned white, then the priest shall shut him up that had the plague 7 days. So it's dealing with the skin. All right. So you're wrong, Mustang Jack. Okay. Let's see here. Keep the videos coming. I don't see the point in trying to convince people Moses was black. Does it change God's mission or work through him? No, all this video has done is give say. See, this jazz life, and I don't know who this is. A lot of these be avatars, but there's always somebody that's trying to choke the word, man. Okay. Always, man. It never fails, man. Matthew chapter 13. These are the words of Yahushua, by the way. All right. Let me see. Matthew 13. I'll start at 21. The point is in 22. It says, yet had he not root in himself, but dureth for a while, for when tribulation or persecution ariseth because of the word, and by and by he is offended. It's talking about, guys that basically you go into this parable that Yahushua was telling. It was going into the wicked one. All right, and it's going to one that heard the word, as you can see. Okay, and some hear the word and root themselves in this knowledge. Some don't. Some fall on stony ground. Okay, but some root themselves in and learn, and some don't. Okay. Verse 22, he also that received seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word, and the care of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he becometh unfruitful. All right. But he that receives seed into the good ground is he that heareth the word and understand it, which also beareth fruit and bringeth forth some 100-fold, some 60, some 30. Okay. So, basically goes into the ones that are of Israel that hear the word and have understanding of the word, and the ones that don't, basically fall on deaf ears. They end up, not being rooted, and grounded in the word. Okay. So I'm gonna leave it there. I want to read. All these comments, but as you can see, it's controversial. All right. The Lord has a controversy in Zion. Let me get that. It's Isaiah 34. And it's it is what it is, man. This is what the Lord created. All right. Isaiah 34 and verse 8, it says, for it is the day of the Lord's vengeance and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. And this is an ongoing thing because If you have one people claiming to be the Lord's people, you have another people claiming to be the Lord's people. All right, that's using the Bible and proving it. So who are you going to believe? The word of God, the word of the Lord, or someone claiming to be the people of the Lord with no proof? Okay, so you make your decision. You choose who you think is right. Okay, because one right is one wrong. Okay, and that's simple and plain. Okay, with that, Lord willing, is edifying. Shalom to the next video.